My name is Ryan Bermont, and I was the producer for Raiders Got Talent. As the producer, I was kind of in charge of everybody and making sure what they were doing was up to the level we wanted, and to make sure it was going to be on time and how it needs to be done. So I spent a lot of time emailing people and looking at paperwork and organizing paperwork and kind of going around and communicating to each department head and pretty much every single person to make sure their needs were being met and that what was needed to be done was getting done on time. Yeah, so my production duties were slightly less than pre-production, but they were still pretty full. I was once again kind of talking to everybody and making sure the day of and our load-in day that everything was going to plan. We were on our schedule because we had very limited time and limited access to the Performing Arts Center, and just making sure it ran smoothly, it ran the budget, and everyone enjoyed it and had a good experience.
My name is Tyler Walske. I was the line producer and also an A2. My pre-production jobs as line producer was to make the packet, which is about a 48-paged, basically a Bible for our production. It contains the contact list, the script, the floor plan, the schedules. It contains everything. And I was in charge of putting that together. And also as line producer, I created the budget and the schedule. An ideal candidate for line producing would be someone that likes to be on their computer and do a lot of paperwork and be organized. You have to love being organized and love making schedules. You have to love that. And if you don't, then sorry. So during the show, I became an A2, which is essentially an assistant to the audio supervisor, the main audio person. And I did everything on stage while the supervisor was in the booth. So I would run out mics, I would make sure the connections are good, I would tape down the lines, I would basically do everything on stage that went with audio.
My name is Mimi Cocquyt, and I was the assistant director. What made me want to be the assistant director is I really like assisting. I don't quite like having it all on me, I guess. So I'm totally cool with being the runner or doing the paperwork or doing the little things the director can't. So that's why I chose assistant director rather than director. My pre-production duties as an assistant director were being there for my director, seeing what I can do for him because he has to look at the entire picture and sometimes can't look at the little things. So I would always pick up the slack on little things like paperwork, or also being there for camera guys if my director can't because he's up in the booth or someplace else, making sure everyone's communicating with each other and really just being a good assistant.
My name is Jerell Gray, and my major is film and television. Yeah, I was a director for Raiders Got Talent. Pre-production, I did 4 plans, and plus I had to do the rundown menu. Make sure everybody's okay, constant check-ins with, with the producers, make sure we're all on the same page. Camera angles, those are always very, very important because you don't want, you don't want jump cuts. So, planning all the camera angles and everything, so, yeah. The final couple of days when being direct, well, was that tough. Stress. Okay, so if it wasn't for lights, the lighting questions with my with Matthew, and if it wasn't, worrying about the rundown, if it wasn't for floor plans, people hit me up wondering where they wanted to be at what time. So basically, it was getting camera angles ready, lighting. I was back there, listening to the audio, making sure it was okay, we can hear. So basically, it's all the technical stuff, and then camera works and the angles. And I got with the talent, had them do a quick run through. So when it came time for filming the real show, I knew exactly where we needed to be at that moment, and at least try to get it there at that time. and once again make them look the best they possibly can with lighting and with camera work.
My name is Nicole Lahidjani, and I'm a film, television, and media major here at Moore Park College. Being a stage manager is just a title I'm very comfortable with, and especially after finding out that we would be doing this in the Performing Arts Center, I saw it as an opportunity to kind of show them what I've got just because I have no other experience. So initially I thought my job was just going to be helping out on stage. We did have A2s and stagehands that were very helpful during the show, but my primary job was calling cues. Like I said, I worked with the lighting designer and the sound designer and went through the script, made sure all the cues lined up, we were all on the same page. I wish I would have had more time to do that this time, but again, I wasn't really sure how that would work out until the show day. So yeah, I worked a lot on stage. I made sure all the talent was in the right places at the right times.
So I'm Salvatore Guerrero. I'm a DIT and I also work in post-production. I'm the manager there. What drew me to some of the jobs that I was going into was the fact that a lot of the things that I excel in is like working on a project, like kind of when it needs like to come together when it's fully realized. Working on the day, like I have fun doing that, but honestly, I really enjoy sort of like having all the footage done, having all the audio there, and then just piecing it all together and then creating something out of it. So a DIT's responsibilities is managing the SD cards, basically all the footage, having it uploaded, having it organized, so pre-production is much easier. And me being a part of pre-production, the job sort of naturally fell on my lap. So logistically, we had 5 cameras and we had 2 hours of footage on each camera and 2 hours of audio. So the first thing we had to do was organize it and match it with the visuals that we had, the audio I mean. And that was being done by Chris, who's matching it all, and then Chelsea's currently highlighting, keep tracks of the exact dates, and then I'm overseeing it. And then once we have the full condensed, or once we had the full condensed version, then we broke off into separate sections and we started working on highlight reels, trailers for the final product.
Hi, my name is Chelsea, and what my positions were, I was basically editor and helping backstage. Production duties, what were they? I will say to, like I said, help backstage, make sure everything runs smoothly, if anything needs to be put on stage, off stage, help with that, as well as like my editing duties, just put everything together and make it look good.
So my name is Christopher Contreras, and my position on the crew, I'm a camera operator as well as one of the editors. Well, what made me want to be an editor and a camera op on this particular project is I just felt, well, overall is I love being behind the camera. That's the first thing, and you know, I like the technical aspect of it. In terms of editing, I love being able to, well, when you edit, you're shaping the story along with what the script is and what they shot on set, and then the edit is kind of the ultimate storytelling technique, and I'm really interested in storytelling, and I love editing, and yeah, and why I really wanted to do that in particular on this project is I just felt like I've been working at it and doing it for a while, and I felt that I can help bring my strengths to for what I've been doing to help everybody else in the class in the project. In the editing process of in post-production, the editing process. So first we have to start with, you know, we get the footage and we have to upload all the footage. That's the first thing. So once we have all the footage uploaded, then we have to organize it. So we had 5 cameras rolling. 4 main cameras and then 1 camera that's a handheld. So we have to go and organize through all the footage that we have for each camera, which in our case we have 2 sets of footage. So we have like camera 1A, camera 1B, camera 2A, camera 2B, up all the way to 5. So we have to organize everything. Then once we start to organize it, we have to go in and look at all the footage that we shot. So ultimately we're editing multicam. So we have to look at all the footage that we shot. We have to place the clips from camera 1, 2, 3, and 4, group those all together, so that way when we're editing, all 4 images are on screen and we can easily, with the keyboard, jump between what we're doing. And then that's like the main thing is organizing that's the most important part, is really organizing everything so you can edit. So it's uploading the footage, organizing the footage in terms of what camera it's coming from, looking over your footage, grouping the footage together, syncing the audio, and then ultimately editing and hopefully coming with a good project, you know?
My name is Madeline Scott, and I was the assistant audio engineer, audio director, and audio coordinator. For the day of production, I had a lot of taping, lots and lots of taping, and my legs have never hurt so much, but it paid off. The cords were perfect, they looked great. I set out mics and mic stands, and then I would run up and down from the booth to the stage to make sure all the levels were right for the acts.
My name is Savanna Cory. I was the host of Raiders Got Talent, and I was also the marketing director. I took the host and marketing director because nobody else wanted to take it. But I hate talking in front of huge groups of people, but I'm kind of glad I did it because it was a great learning experience for me. But, and marketing director, I guess marketing is not too bad. You just post on Instagram. So pre-production, as a host, I didn't really have to do much, but for marketing director, I basically got posters for Raiders Got Talent. I posted them all around the school. I made an Instagram page. I would try to post weekly about it and remind people like, hey, our show's coming up, come see us. And then I made a press release, sent it out to a bunch of newspaper articles. And then I also joined like community pages on Facebook, and I would post about our Raiders Got Talent on our Facebook page and hope that a bunch of people would come see it.
My name is Matthew Boyd, and I was the lighting designer for the Raiders Got Talent. I used to do lighting for theatrical production, so I really thought it would be cool to see what's the differences between theatrical and film. So my pre-production duties were to come up with lighting design, and also to communication with the people from the Performing Arts Center to figure out when would I be able to program the board. Production duties were that I had to run the lighting board with the cues, and in addition to that, run the fall spot when needed.
My name is Jackelyn Rodriguez, and my position was set designer. Well, I love decorating. I feel like I'm very creative when it comes to that. I also like to plan parties just for fun, like for my family, and I go all out decorating. Also for like projects, I am super extra. My pre-production duties was, first of all, I had to start with the set plan and see how we wanted things and if it would work out. Then we had to make sure, like Tyler, which was in charge of like budget, to approve it. And then just really working with my group and seeing like if we agree, having a lot of communication with the producers.
My name is Shardonaye Moyes. I was an art director, so I set up the set, and then I was a runner the day of production. I wanted to be an art director because I've always been into events and I love seeing the aesthetics of everything, and when I knew we were doing Raiders Got Talent, I wanted to make sure that it was as pleasing to the camera as possible. My pre-production duties was trying to figure out setting up with the production designer and seeing what we wanted everything to look like. So we knew we wanted the castle from Spamalot, so it was getting in conversation with the theater department, seeing if we can use their castle, be in contact with AS if they can help us with balloons, talking to the balloon guy to get all that taken care of. So it was mostly just making sure everything, all the equipment and props would be on set the day of. The day of production, all of the set design was pretty much all done, so I was a runner for crew. So as a runner, you're the one in charge of making sure everyone is where they're supposed to be talent-wise. So we had a green room in the back for all the talent, and I would run back and forth with a comm to make sure that if person was on deck waiting to go on next, or everyone else is where they were supposed to be and not hiding out in the parking lot or something.